Welcome to the Melt Uncut. We are your hosts.
I'm Sarah.
And I'm Isabella. And thank you for choosing to spend your time with us this next hour or so. Depends on how long this will take.
Yeah, if I have any say in it, it'll be a couple hours.
It'll be like a full 3-day episode. We just keep on yapping.
We just went to Trader Joe's and got some lunch, and we said something at the exact same time, and I realized how similar our voices sounded when we said it.
What did we say?
I don't remember.
Okay. Cool.
But we were looking at cards and I don't know, we said something. So when we were talking in unison there, it was like, oh my gosh, we sound the same.
I wonder if we've grown to match pitches, if that makes sense. Just subconsciously.
Like spending so much time around each other.
I wonder if there's research on that.
Ooh, that sounds like a fun rabbit hole.
That does sound like a fun rabbit hole. I am not allowing myself to go down any rabbit holes tonight. I am going to plop myself on the couch, smoke some greens. No smoke. Eat some greens. Just kidding.
Speaking of greens, your thing is going yellow.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'll hold it a little further away. Okay.
That sounds
sorry.
fun though.
Yeah. And I'm going to I've been watching Running Point.
Ooh, what's that about?
It's just a cute little Netflix show about a girl boss running a basketball team because all the men in her life suck.
Okay. Love it.
It's really cute. It's like a cute little feel good. I don't know.
Is it like the Nobody Wants This?
Kind of.
Okay.
Except for there's kind of romance, kind of not. Schmidt's in it from New Girl.
Oh, yeah.
Schmidt.
Yeah. Schmidt. I think about because I was thinking Kimmy Schmidt for a minute.
Oh, no.
We're Unbreakable. Is it on Netflix, that one?
Yeah, Running Point. It's cute. It's like a little, I think, 10 episode, whatever.
Short thing.
Mm-hmm.
I just saw that this summer I Turned Pretty. The next season's coming out July 16th, so schedule your watch parties. I was thinking about scheduling a watch party.
Ooh,
it could be fun, but
that
also
would be
like,
fun.
would we want to watch it like on our own? Like, I feel like it'd have to be a girls thing.
It would have to be a girls
because
thing.
I think guys would just not like a couple guys in the group just wouldn't care.
Well, it'd be like how the anime nights just turn into us yapping and the guys being like, "Shut up!"
Like we're trying to watch Solo Leveling, and we're just like, "How was your weekend?"
Yeah, exactly. That and then gosh, updates on shows. You is out. Handmaid's Tale is coming out episode by episode.
Oh, wow.
What else has new seasons?
I keep seeing things for Bridgerton coming.
I was gonna say it's Bridgerton season. Should it come out soon? Is it coming?
It's coming out soon.
Well, it typically comes out May, June.
Oh, see, I don't even keep track of that. We need a new season.
We do. And I wonder if it's gonna be Queen Charlotte and then Bridgerton next year.
Oh yeah, Michael and I never finished
Queen Charlotte.
Yeah.
Oh, it was good. The ending, I was sobbing. I was not okay.
Really?
I was. Oh my god, the ending. I think about it all the time.
Oh, okay, maybe we need to finish it then. God, we have so many shows to finish. We have Outer Banks we need to finish still.
Yeah, Silo has a new season. Severance has a new season.
Oh yeah, Severance. Michael loves Severance.
I love Severance. It's ridiculous. It makes you think. I don't know. I feel like that's kind of how we live our lives.
Yeah.
Especially if you're in corporate America.
Yeah, it's definitely a very thought-provoking show. I mean, I haven't seen a lot of it, but
yeah.
I mean, I came in and out. Like I saw the scene where they went like the camping trip and they were out in the woods and then
that was whack. I don't know what was going on there.
I just jumped in straight into that episode. I'm like, what? I mean, I know what happens like in the show, but
yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I'm watching any shows recently.
Gosh, yeah. I'm watching Sex and the City for the first time.
Okay.
I can't believe I haven't seen it. I'm in the middle of watching Silo, in the middle of watching Lost, in the middle of watching Running Point, in the middle of watching This Is Us.
Okay. So you have a lot of shows on your...
In the middle of watching Handmaid's Tale.
Okay.
But like I can't get past season 2 or 3 of Handmaid's Tale. I don't know where I'm at, but there's a lull and I'm trying to get past it. It's like Assassin's Blade.
Okay.
I'm struggling. But yeah, that being said, I have a rule for myself where I'm not allowed to watch TV on weekdays.
Oh, okay.
I can only watch TV Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays if I finish my homework.
Oh, okay.
But I mean, this is week 2 of it, but it's led to me going to bed earlier, which is exactly what I needed it to do. So,
yeah.
And read more, which I didn't really need to do.
Yeah, I need you to speed it up here, girlfriend.
I'm working on it.
Fourth Wing has been consuming my morning, day, afternoon, evening, and night.
That's how Akator was last year, and I don't know if I'm ready for that level of consumption again.
The thing is, when I read it the first time, I just like, I don't know. I took it at surface level. I was like, oh, this is like a good book series. Like, you know, it's fine. But after I finished Onyx Storm, I went straight back, literally same day, jumped right back into Fourth Wing. And I'm like, oh my God, there are so many Easter eggs that she put in these books that you wouldn't know unless you finished Onyx Storm and eventually like the fourth book. But there are so many theories. I went down a rabbit hole in San Diego and I watched Fourth Wing theory, like reels on reels, like theories. Oh my gosh, brain fart. For literally like 2 hours, like 2.5 hours, just scrolling.
That's like my favorite thing to do is go down deep wormholes like that. I love it. I love it so much.
It was so good. And there's another podcast I found. I'll shout them out here because, you know, podcast to podcast. They're called Lame Book Club, but it's LAME, like it's a acronym. And it's 15 Onyx Storm theories you've never heard, I think is the name of the podcast. I was listening to it on the way over to Iz's today. And it's so good. So Iz, you need to finish up Throne of Glass series.
I'm working on it. I'm working on it. I promise.
Slowly but surely, because that series is a commitment and a half.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So I guess what are we drinking?
What are we drinking? What are you drinking?
I'm drinking, I don't know, something ginger.
Yeah, it's a Gia non-alcoholic aperitif soda.
It tastes like ginger beer, but a little more bitter.
Okay, yeah. That's a good way to describe it.
What does yours taste like?
Mine is the lime and salt Gia. Oh no, I'm still here. How come it's not turning green? Is that normal?
It's fine. You're fine.
Okay, cool. I'm drinking the lime and salt flavor, and they're both like kind of pink. And it kind of tastes like margarita mix, but less sweet and a little bitter too, which is nice.
Yeah.
But wait, can you do ASMR?
No, it's not going to pick it up. Well, the whole point of the mic is so that it doesn't pick things up like that.
I'm shaking it in the mic though. Well, maybe you can hear it. If you can, you've just heard like ice cubes shaking for like 30 seconds. Okay. Well, I guess those are some good life updates. Oh, we saw Reese Witherspoon and Melinda French Gates last night.
We did. Very unexpected on my behalf. Sarah was expecting to go to that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was like 45 minutes of them chatting about Melinda's new book. And it was all about woman empowerment in the United States.
Yeah.
And talking about how like Melinda's grandchildren have less rights than Melinda did growing up.
It's a lot about transitions too.
Yeah, transitions and kind of, that female empowerment in decision making power roles.
Yeah. It was a cool conversation, but it was just fun to be around that many women again.
It was. It felt like OLP.
It felt like OLP, which is our high school, which we will talk about in this episode. So maybe that's a good segue then.
Yeah. Okay. What are we talking about today?
So episode 14, oh my gosh.
What?
I just can't speak English today.
You said we are.
We are.
That's fine.
We are talking about Catholicism, growing up in Catholicism, 16 years of Catholic education, what we learned, what we took away, what we decided to not take away, where we're now.
We went to Catholic preschool as well. So that's even more.
You went to more years than I did, though.
So, but then you went to 2 more years of Catholic college than
that's
I
a good
did.
Point.
I went to so you have 18, no, you have 17 and I have 16
years of Catholic education.
Yes.
My, oh my. So if you ever wondered what it's like to grow up Catholic in a Catholic school.
Wait, no, you have 18 and I have 17 because kindergarten and then first grade.
Oh, you're right. You're right. Oh my God.
So you have 18 years of Catholic education and I have 17.
Okay. There you have it, folks. But yeah, we did the whole kit and caboodle. We did First Communion,
confirmation. We were baptized. We did youth group and went to mass and
oh gosh, we'll get more into that. But I think this episode we're making it because maybe it's a way of closure for us, or not even closure.
I think it's like a way of deconstruction almost.
Just figuring out what the hell we went through.
That, and then, I mean, I don't know about you, but with Pope Francis dying, which if you don't know, Pope Francis died the day after Easter, April 17th, I believe it was.
April 20. Easter was the 20th. It's
Oh,
420.
April 21st. Oh, yeah, it was
I only know that
420.
because someone said happy 420, and I was like, wait, it's Easter.
Did you celebrate 420?
Only because, okay, I got my period on Friday, on Good Friday. And so I woke up and I went to my aunt and I was like, Roro, I'm suffering with the passion of Jesus today.
Oh, good.
So yes, I did celebrate 420.
I did not.
On Friday though.
Oh,
because I was in excruciating pain.
I was writing papers all of Easter.
That's so sad.
I did go to the Ballard Farmers Market for the first time ever.
It's fun, right?
Yeah, it's very San Diego Market coded. Although I'd say San Diego Market has more.
There's more, but there's also so many less people, there's less people at Ballard.
Yeah.
Like it's just Little Italy. You feel like you're literally Little Italy's in San Diego. Like at that farmer's market, you feel like you can't even move. You feel like a sardine.
Yeah.
And the Ballard market, it is at least more like, it's just better vibes.
Yeah. Yeah. So yes, Pope Francis passed away, and like I said, I don't know about you, but that news, like my body had a visceral reaction to it, which is weird because I'm not Catholic anymore. I have renounced Catholicism as my personal religion. But I still had such strong feelings when I heard the news.
Yeah.
And you were actually the one who told me.
Yeah, I like just casually broke it to you because I thought you would have heard already. So you're like, wait, what?
I was teaching class all day. And when I teach class, I'm not on the internet. I have 4 hours of an internet silo. And that's when all the news happened.
Yeah, that's kind of nice though. To just like put your phone away for 4 hours and be like,
I mean, it's like my life.
Yeah.
So I don't really know any different, if that makes
fair,
sense.
fair. But yeah, so it happened, I think, overnight Pacific time because I woke up in the morning and my dad was like, Pope Francis died. And I was like, wait, what? And like, I thought he was like, okay again. Apparently not.
That's so wild.
Yeah. So, but I think that's another reason we wanted to make this episode today because it just felt like the timing seemed right because we had the idea when we first started this podcast to make this episode, but we just didn't really know when. So
yeah, we actually met Pope Francis too. We did. I just a little history on Pope Francis before we get into like meeting him and talking about the rest of Catholicism. Pope Francis is from Argentina. He's the first non-European and the first South American to be, I don't want to say elected Pope.
Papa'd.
To be papa'd. His legacy ran for 12 years, and he was pro LGBTQIA+, pro immigrant, and did a lot of work kind of restructuring the Catholic belief system and faith to support everyone instead of just supporting who Catholics deem needed support or are worthy of support. Yeah. So he was and not to bring politics into religion, but we all know religion is political. He was a very liberal.
Is very progressive.
Yeah, very progressive pope. The most progressive pope we've definitely had in our lifetime, given he was our third, I believe, second or third pope.
Oh gosh, I think second or
I don't
third.
remember how long Benedict ran for.
I don't remember either.
But also when you're elected pope, you're pope until you pass away or until you retire.
Oh my gosh, what's the word for that?
I forgot.
Oh, tip of my tongue. I gotta go find it now.
We used to know this word.
I'm gonna go find it. BRB.
But that is kind of just like background on Pope Francis. He also is the only pope in our lifetime to not use bulletproof glass while walking around the Vatican.
I didn't know that.
Popes before him used bulletproof glass, so they were always like behind something, where Pope Francis, I would say, like very comfortably say he was a man of the people.
Yeah, like he would go up to people. Like I saw so many videos of him like going up to people and like blessing like their pregnant bellies or like talking to, I don't know, newlyweds or whatever. But he just would like go up to random people and just like talk to them, and it was so cool. The word is Pope Emeritus.
Okay.
Emeritus is when they like retire and go live on a cool island somewhere. I don't know.
Yeah, so that's kind of Pope Francis's deal. We were in 7th or 8th grade when he became Pope. Yeah. We watched it. So we went to a Catholic school, So it was live streamed for us. And I mean, the process took 3 days or something like that. Like,
Yeah.
it was a longer than usual process. And we watched the white smoke rise and we were so excited. And then Pope Francis, I mean, he chose his name, Pope Francis, the first Francis to be Pope.
Did you do a lot of research on him after he died?
No, I knew all of this.
Oh my gosh, that's impressive.
Oh, no, I've known all this since like freaking since he was elected.
Okay.
Because I did research on him when he was elected.
Okay.
And then, I mean, whenever I hear about Pope Francis, my ears kind of not burn, but they perk up and they listen.
Papa Francesco.
The 12 years was, I read an article about him after he had passed. But other than that, this was all
You get an A+.
floating in my brain. So yeah, and we met Pope Francis. We were at the Vatican on Easter, not knowing it was Easter, funny enough. And we were just strolling around. Sarah was like, yeah, let's go to the Vatican today. We did that. And there was a big crowd, and Pope Francis, he was on a buggy, not with bulletproof glass.
Yeah, no. He was just like waving on the back of the truck or whatever. And we're like, Papa.
Yeah, everybody's like, Papa, Papa. And I know we've mentioned this before, but it was such a surreal experience. And it was really cool to kind of just be in the presence of someone who is held so highly in a faith that we participated in for an entire life of an adolescent.
Yeah. I think I realized I've seen him twice.
Oh.
Because when I was at World Youth Day, which we'll also talk about later in this episode, in Poland, it's a tradition in World Youth Day, which is like the biggest Catholic conference like in the world, essentially. They had it in Poland in 2016, I think. And so it was in Krakow. And Pope John Paul II started a tradition where you go camping, or like he loved camping.
Okay.
Or he loved the outdoors. And so one of the nights of World Youth Day, you sleep outside, no tent.
I was about to ask if you were covered.
No.
I would be not okay with that.
So one of the days of World Youth Day, literally 1 million youth walked from Krakow to this field. I have no idea what the name of it was. It was not the field in the center of Krakow. It was like 10 miles away. So it was a hike and a half to get there. And yeah, we had like a mass at night. And then we all, like 1 million of us, just fell asleep under the stars and woke up and everyone was covered in spiders and dew.
Oh.
It was really cool though to like watch the sunrise, and they had like people like Coachella style like singing like like in the morning, and it was a cool experience. But he was there. That's the point I was getting to, is he was there doing the mass in the morning.
Got it. Okay, I have a response to this, but before I have say my response, I want to preface this entire podcast episode with that this is our personal experiences.
Yes.
We mean no offense. This is coming from our perceptions, and we may say things that might come off as offensive without meaning to be offensive. Again, based off of our perceptions, if you practice the Catholic faith and you don't agree with what we say, that is totally okay. We're not here to agree with everybody.
Yep. This is not a diss episode by any means.
Yeah, this is just this is our experience and our perceptions. And with that gives very cult-like vibes.
Amen.
Okay, good. Yes. I just needed to preface that before I called Catholicism a cult, which in my mind, any organized religion is a cult.
Yeah.
So that is the definition of cult that I'm using, is an organized religion.
Any organized religion?
Any organized religion is a cult. We could go paganism's a cult, Mormonism's a cult, Judaism's a cult, Catholicism's a cult, Lutheranism, I don't know, Baptist, cult, everything. By definition, by the root definition of a cult, any gathering and group of people is a cult.
Yeah. I mean, if you think about it though, because like we will talk about paganism a little bit in this episode, but if you think about paganism and you see a group of people practicing paganism, you'd be like, that's bizarre. That is so strange. Like all these people are gathering and like singing songs about like the moon together. But then you look at Catholicism and you're like, oh, it's completely normal.
Yeah, I actually had a really cool conversation with my therapist this past Monday. where she I believe is Catholic or Christian, and she was talking about how, because I was talking about kind of the paganism rituals we did for Beltane,
Well, that you did.
or that I did
I
for
didn't do anything.
for Beltane. I casted like a little love spell, and I gave offerings to fairies, and I meditated a little bit and was just mindful of like my goals and what I want for the spring. And I was telling her about it, and she's like, "Oh, I have these bracelets that I'll put out on every full moon to like get
Charge them?
Yeah, to get the energy of the moon." And she's like, "Sometimes I feel bad because I don't know if it's more witchy, and like I don't know if it goes against my faith or whatnot." And I'm like, "Okay, if you are Catholic, then you believe that God created the moon. So you are taking in God's energy like into your bracelets and carrying that energy with you, like God's creation's energy with you.
Yeah.
So, like, how is that in any way against the faith?
Yeah.
Or how is that practicing something that like would send you to hell in your belief?"
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, another good one on that note is yoga.
Mm-hmm.
Because my family used to have a lot of issues with me practicing yoga when I was in high school.
Really?
And they'd be like, this is against God's will. Like, this isn't what God wants you to do.
Huh.
And I'm like, I'm literally celebrating my body, being able to move my body, breathe in deeply. Like, these are all things that God created.
Yes.
And like, it's a acknowledgement to God's like incredible powers that I'm able to do these things.
Yes. And like grounding techniques where
Yeah.
you go out barefoot or whatnot, like you are connecting with God's creation.
Yeah.
Right? If you believe that.
Yeah. But it could be seen as witchy in
Yes.
the eyes of the Catholic Church.
Which is just so funny to me, because the more I learn about, I guess, I don't know if it's paganistic or like paganism rituals, pagan rituals, the more I see so many different religions collided into one.
Yeah.
Which is really, really cool. And like we've studied world religions, so we are by no means experts on every single religion or Catholicism in general, but we're
close experts on Catholicism.
we do have some sort of base knowledge on not every religion in the world, but the main religions
we have
of
like
the
a
world.
working knowledge. Like we can have an informed conversation about the major world religions, I would say.
Yes, I would agree with that. Which, by the way, if you've never taken a world religions class, honestly, you really should.
It's so cool.
It is so cool, and it's really interesting to see all of the commonalities between religions and also the like tiny minute differences, but those minute differences then become such drastic like rubbing points.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, like how essentially, who was it? Was it Mr. King who taught us that like the Abrahamic God and like Allah, like Islamic God, are like the same God?
Yes.
Yeah. So like whether you're Jewish, Christian, Catholic, or Muslim,
like it's all
it's the
one
same God.
singular higher power God.
Yeah.
But the way that you reverate, do you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah. Like praise, worship.
Like worship this God, and the rules you believe this God has are all different, and that's what separates people. But in reality, they're really just doing the same thing.
Okay. Well. Oh my God, we totally forgot to announce the Cafe Vita thing.
Okay, all right.
Okay,
intermission.
Brief advertisement, intermission. Not even advertisement. We wish we had ads on this podcast.
Cafe Vita, sponsor us.
We love you.
We do love you.
We're celebrating 100 followers
Yay.
by giving out a Cafe Vita gift card in a giveaway.
Woo,
so
woo.
we'll probably post that next week to the gram.
Yep.
Is that a blue jay?
No, it's a squirrel going crazy.
I swear half of these podcast episodes are me looking out your window being like, what's that?
Yeah, we got lots of noises outside.
It's lovely. But yeah, so stay tuned for next week. We're going to go live with that gift card and it'll get sent to your email.
Yep, so enter for a chance to win.
Yes, yay. Okay, back to Catholicism.
Okay.
Should we just like start up at the beginning here, I guess?
Yes, I really wanted, sorry, I keep interjecting.
It's fine. That's what this
a
podcast is.
really random, like very beginning for us is that my parents got married at a church called Our Lady of the Rosary.
Hey, I got baptized there.
And Sarah got baptized at that same exact church. And that is the first time that Sarah and I can count our paths crossing.
Ooh, I love that.
Yeah. So given I was like probably just a thought in my parents' minds because I was not born until 2 years after they were married. But like that is the first time our energies some way or
Oh
another
my gosh. So we're
touched.
We're tied at Our Lady of the Rosary.
We are. Like that is our conception.
That's beautiful.
That is where our paths first started.
Oh.
Albeit I was an egg in my mother's fallopian tubes and you were an infant.
Yes. A little baby.
But yeah, I just wanted to shout that out.
I love that. See, she knows all these things that I don't even know or I don't think about. So I'll have to think about that more often.
I think about it a lot.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, the odds, man.
She's the better friend.
No. Just the odds. It's so crazy.
Especially since you were born in Orange County.
Mm-hmm.
Like not even in San Diego.
Yeah. So they got married there, then moved to Orange County, then moved back.
Wild.
Yeah.
Oh.
I
We'll
know.
have to go back to Our Lady of the Rosary.
We will. Maybe that's where we're buried.
No.
Well, I want to be
I
cremated.
want to be cremated.
Maybe we'll spread a little ash in the holy water.
Oh, we can do that. We have someone do it like incognito.
I'm just
Okay,
kidding.
whoever-
we're not going to taint people's
whoever-
holy water.
Whoever goes first, we have to vow. I'll like bring a little sprinkle of your ashes and like sprinkle it at Our Lady of the Rosary.
Okay.
And then whoever goes first, of course.
Okay.
So if I go first, you do that for me.
Okay.
If you go first, I'll do it for you.
I'm not going to lie. I have like tears welling up in my eyes thinking about you going.
I know.
So-
I think about mortality a lot sometimes. And we were driving in the car yesterday. I was like, what am I going to do when everyone's gone? And I'm like, no, don't cry.
I can't think about this.
We're only 26.
Stop. You're not allowed to die. No. You're not allowed to, simply put.
Okay, you're not either.
Okay.
Okay, so when it does happen, though,
No.
I'm gonna find you and make eternity annoying for you.
Oh my God. Okay.
Okay, moving on.
Okay. You need to talk. I need to recollect myself.
Okay. I will recollect. You're gonna recollect. I'll talk. This is just a prime example of how Sarah just is not able to cry ever. It's bad. Maybe I should go to therapy for this too.
Okay. I'm back.
You're
I'm
back.
good.
She's back. We're good.
Okay. So we started off being baptized
Yes.
in Catholicism. Our parents were obviously Catholic.
Mine were not.
Oh, how'd you get baptized?
My mom was born and raised Baptist, and she then. No, my parents got married on a riverboat in Laughlin, Nevada.
I love that for them.
Yeah. So in order for me to go, can we say the name of our elementary school?
Sure.
Okay. Madeline, School of the Madeline is where we went. In order for me to go to Madeline, my parents needed to be married in the Catholic Church. My mom was not Catholic at this time, so she literally had to become Catholic, and then they had to have a second marriage in the church for me to be able to go to Madeline.
Snap.
Yeah.
They were really wanted you to go to Madeline.
My dad really wanted me to go to Madeline.
See, my dad was Catholic. I mean, grew up Hispanic, right? They're all Catholic. I met a Hispanic Mormon the other day and I was
Really?
like, this is not correct.
Like, what do you mean? Utah's the Holy Land. I'm confused.
I know. So yes, dad was Catholic. My mom grew up Christian and converted to Catholicism to marry my dad, but then never went to church except for on Easters. Randomly would go to church on
Not
Easters.
Christmas?
No,
Okay.
we weren't a Christmas Mass family. We were an Easter Mass family. Yeah, and they got married at Our Lady of Peace, which is Our Lady of the Rosary. Sorry, Our Lady of Peace is our high school. Many ladies in our lives.
Many ladies, but just one lady. Many versions of one lady.
Yeah, it is all versions. Well, no, because we had Mary Magdalene.
we're gonna go down that rabbit hole on this podcast.
Oh, I'm so excited.
Okay. We might put us. That's gonna put us over an hour.
Yeah,
I'm okay to do that.
That's fine. This is going to be a very long episode.
Okay. That's fine.
Okay. Yes. So that's kind of our backgrounds. And then we started at a Catholic school. I started a year before Sarah. So I started P3 and then she joined me at P4 at School of the Magdalene.
Yep, in Miss Valerie's class.
Which is where we met.
Yep.
And we have remained friends since then.
Yep.
Which is wild.
It was cute. Like, we went up to each other and we're like, hi, I'm Sarah. I'm Isabella. Wait, can we recreate that?
Okay.
Okay. Hi, I'm Sarah.
I'm Isabella.
Do you want to be friends?
Sure.
There you have it.
That was, okay, we were what? 4 years old and we're 20. That was 22 years ago.
Yep. That was 2003.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we have been friends since then, and we have done this whole crazy journey together. So I would say there wasn't much Catholicism in preschool.
No, because they didn't force us to go to church until first grade. Yep.
Yeah.
So preschool, kindergarten was kind of just low key. Like I would go to mass with my family on Sundays. And by my family, I mean my father. My mother, like I said, converted to Catholicism so she could get married in the church, but never practiced. So I would go with my father and she would stay home. And I assume that was like her alone time.
Yeah.
Which now that I think about it as an adult must have been so nice.
Yeah, just like an hour of like everyone's away.
Yes. You're like home alone. Husband's not home. Kids aren't home. Like
just you time.
Yeah. Amazing. No wonder why she never went to mass.
I remember in preschool, we got to wear like whatever clothes we wanted. And then in kindergarten, we had to start wearing uniforms.
Yep.
We had jumpers.
We did.
Which were so cute.
Yeah. And then in first grade, a lot happened in first grade. That's when we started going to mass every Friday. That's our school would go to mass every Friday. We'd walk up a hill and go to mass. In first grade is where we found out that animals don't make it to heaven.
Was that Miss James who taught us
that? That was.
Yeah, Miss James. Was she was a nun at some... No, she had a son, remember?
Oh, she does have a son.
Was she a nun and then she left and then had a son?
I feel like she gives nun vibes.
She gives total nun vibe. I think she at one point in her life was a nun and then somehow had a son. The nun with a son. So she was like very, very, very like traditional Catholic. I just remember when that one kid Stefano in our class went up and got communion, which when he like we're not supposed to take communion until like we have like the rite of first communion in second grade, and he took it in first grade, and she, my oh my, was beyond livid at this poor, how old were you in first grade? Six or seven. Was like lecturing this 6-year-old on how he's going straight to hell for receiving the Lord before
his first communion. Yeah, it's crazy. Or it was crazy. And then I mean, gosh, then we were going to mass every single Friday, and I was going to mass Sunday as well.
And then during Lent, which is actually let's rewind this here. Communion, if you're not Christian or Catholic, it's like that little white disc that's like a cracker, like a little bread that you receive at the end of mass.
They say it's the body of Christ.
It's the body of Christ, yeah. But you have to have the like rite of Holy Communion, like you have to.
It's like initiation.
It's initiation, yeah. You have to be initiated first to be able to take it. So,
and the initiation is called First Communion, and that happens in second grade typically.
Yes. So, you said something else that made me think of that.
I don't know, but we'll go to second grade. Yeah. Well, we're going in order of grades. Okay. Second grade happens. We have our first communion. Oh no, first grade we have Passion of the Christ.
Oh my God. Yeah. We reenacted the Stations of the Cross. So like, actually I'll explain this too, because Michael didn't know what this was. Do Christians do Stations of the Cross?
I don't think so. I think that is a purely Catholic thing.
Is there 10 of them? I'm just thinking of like the windows on the church, because at the church we went to, all the stained glass windows were the different stations of the Passion of the Christ. It's basically the different like events that led up to Jesus' crucifixion.
Yep. So like he's carrying the cross.
He receives the cross. He
whipped.
He gets whipped. He gets nailed to the cross. He falls 3 times. He meets Mary Magdalene, who wipes his face. Like, these are all different stations. And so as first graders, we had to like act it out, which did involve literally like pretending to nail one of our classmates.
Our like almost naked classmate.
Yeah, he just had like a towel around his waist.
Yes. So like completely bare chested, like a 7-year-old.
Yeah.
And they do this every year where they go to the church and reenact the Stations of the Cross, and the 7-year-olds reenact it.
See, that sounds culty, right?
It yes. So you have this like, and there you have different roles, and you're putting on this like play essentially. And there's the actors, and then there's like the sound people. Yeah. And as a 7-year-old, you have these different roles. So you could be like a sheep, or you could be Jesus, or you could be Mary Magdalene, or you could be like the person in charge of making hammer noises in the back.
Yeah, when you're nailing the 7-year-old to the cross.
Yeah, like,
what was your job?
I'm pretty sure I was sound.
You were sound. I was a weeping woman.
Yeah, you were. Miss, I'd never cry.
And you guys, were you there?
Yes.
When they crucified
and then we sang
yeah.
a song about asking people if they were there when they crucified our Lord.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was bizarre. It was, and like parents would come and watch this.
Yeah, were we graded on this? We might have been.
I don't know. But just imagine a bunch of 7-year-olds reenacting the death of Jesus Christ.
Not even the death, like the very violent, like the like nailing a man to a cross.
Yeah, and then he just stood there pretending to get nailed and then pretending to die and then being risen 3 days later.
Yep. So that was our first grade experience.
So then second grade is first communion.
Yeah.
And you wear little white dresses with tiaras and rosaries. And I was so jealous of Sarah's dress. I like still vividly remember the jealousy I held about this dress.
Oh, no.
Because I didn't get to choose my dress. My mom chose it for me. And I didn't like it. I did not like it. But yeah, so.
Actually, when I was in Arizona, because I've spent a decent amount of time in Arizona this month. Oh, soupy girl. Just lay down on Isabella's lap.
Yeah.
How cute. My mom has a picture of us at our first communion up on the piano at her house. And I was like, oh.
Yeah. No, because that's the guest room I stayed in.
Yeah.
So I looked at it.
Oh, so cute.
Yeah. So that's first communion. During first communion, so the rosary, right? The rosary is when it's like little beads in a circle, essentially.
Yeah, and a cross at the end.
Each bead represents a prayer that you say. So we would mimic those beads, right, in first communion?
Yeah, because each grade had 2 different classes because there were so many of us. So there were 60 kids in each grade.
Mm-hmm.
So like, I think it just came about right to make the entire rosary.
Yeah, so each child was a bead in the rosary, and we would say whatever bead that like we were.
Yeah.
So if it was a Hail Mary, we would say the Hail Mary. If it was an Our Father, we'd say Our Father.
Yeah.
Whatever. Yeah. And we went around saying an entire rosary one by one.
Like that. I mean, you're in child education work. Like, how hard is it to get a bunch of 7 and 8-year-olds to stand still for like an hour and recite a rosary?
Wildly developmentally inappropriate. Like, I look back at what we were supposed to do in kindergarten, first grade, and I'm like, oh my God. Like, no wonder why we're so messed up.
We weren't allowed to be kids.
Yeah, no, it's actually horrendous.
Yeah.
Like, I look back at it and I think, oh my God. Of course, our parents were like, oh, these kids are so good. But it's because we grew up in such a strict environment in which
see what we did.
We weren't allowed to express ourselves. Like, we were just little minions for the like adult gaze.
Yeah. And they had very, very strict rules for our uniform too.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you could not customize your uniform in any way, shape, or form. The only way you could like express yourself was through your backpack or through like your folder colors.
Yeah. Not even your hair. Like, you could have certain headbands and stuff.
Yeah. You couldn't have nail polish. You couldn't wear makeup.
No.
You could only have one ear piercing.
Yep. Your socks had to be white.
Yes.
Your shoes had to be black.
Yeah. So yeah, there was no room for self-expression.
No. But yeah, so that's first communion, and then that's when you can start taking the body and blood of Christ. So that's the first time children ever drink wine, typically, because the blood of Christ is wine. And I remember like tilting the cup, and the cup never, like the liquid never reached my mouth. So I never took the blood of Christ.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh.
And then I remember thinking like, oh my God, I'm going to hell. Because I never knew what to do about it. And I was so ashamed by it that I kept it a secret until this very day.
Wow, I didn't know that. Well, yeah, because you didn't say anything.
Because I thought I was going to hell. They rushed me and I couldn't drink the wine.
Yeah. It was like, okay, take your communion and then just go back and walk back to your seat. We had to do reconciliation before communion, though, right?
Yes. Yeah.
So do you want to explain what reconciliation is?
Okay, so reconciliation is when you go into a room with a priest.
This is where a lot of priests have gotten in trouble.
Yes.
We're going to leave it there.
Yeah, when you hear about priests doing things, this is typically when they do them. So you're alone in this room with a priest, and you can choose to have a barrier so the priest can't see you but can hear you, or you can choose to be seen. And you sit there and you cite these specific words. It's like, forgive me, Father. For I have sinned. It has been 7 years since my last confession. Or like, it's been 7 minutes since my last confession, or whatever, right? And then the father says something, and then you confess all of your sins to this priest.
All of your sins as an 8-year-old.
As a 7-year-old.
Yeah.
As like, oh, I didn't listen to my mommy, or like, I ate a lollipop before dinner one day. Like,
we were taught that these were horrible, condemnable things that we could possibly go to hell for.
Yes, no, exactly. And I was so embarrassed to say that I did anything wrong because my perfectionism started young.
Yeah.
So the fact that I had to stand there and tell the priest that I like the wrong things that I did, I lied to that priest every single time. I have never had an honest reconciliation because I was so ashamed as a 7-year-old.
Yeah, well, we were forced to go, and you had to say something. Like, you couldn't, because then your teacher would say, oh, you're a human. You would have had to sin since your last confession. So you're like, okay, what did I do that could have been a sin?
And even if, like, me being a bitch to my sister, right? I knew that was wrong. I'm not gonna tell anyone about that. Like, at that age, I was so scared of doing something wrong.
Yeah.
And I thought that if I said it, I would go to hell. So then I just wouldn't say it.
Yeah. So we're just making crap up. Like,
yeah.
I played The Sims for an hour more than my mom wanted me to.
Yeah.
Sorry, God.
Gosh, you're going to hell. How could you?
Yeah. And then you'd have to say the act of contrition, which is a whole other prayer of itself.
And then the priest gives you penance. Which is like, he'll say like, oh, okay, go say 3 Hail Marys and an Our Father while kneeling,
looking at the statue of Jesus at the front. And also, we had to memorize all of these prayers. Like, there was no cheat sheet. If you were in there alone with the priest, and you had to completely recite the act of contrition on your own as a 7-year-old. Which is a long prayer.
Yes. I don't think I remember it.
Oh, I say it sometimes in the shower. Just to see if I remember it.
Oh, okay. I thought you were having your like own reconciliation.
My shower reconciliation. Oh my God,
shower.
I'm sorry for my sins with all my heart. And choosing to do wrong and failing to do good. I've sinned against you with all my heart, whom I wish to love above all things. I firmly intend, with your help, to do penance, to sin no more, and to avoid whatever leads me to sin. Oh God, I forgot the last part.
That's fine.
Okay, we don't need to keep going on that. But yeah.
Wow, some people have shower beers. Sarah has shower reconciliation.
Yep.
I prefer shower sex.
Intend, with your help, to... Never mind.
Let's not pray after that.
In Jesus' name, amen.
Yes. Okay. So, okay. Yes. Okay. That is reconciliation. Fast forward 3rd grade, nothing crazy.
I mean, yeah, but we don't need to go into that on this episode.
Yeah.
It's too somber. Keep moving.
Okay, 4th grade.
Nothing really happened.
5th grade, we had this teacher. Can I say teachers' names?
Yeah.
Mrs. Young.
Oh, yeah. That was 6th grade.
Oh, 6th grade. okay, 6th grade, we had a teacher, Mrs. Young, who, like, I was debating on if I believed in God, right?
Yeah, I kind of hit that at 6th grade too.
Yeah, and then Mrs. Young had this, like, best anecdotal story ever, and it still lives in my head. Do you remember this?
I don't remember it, no.
Okay, she was telling, okay, it's 2 separate stories, and she was saying that she was struggling with her faith at one point, and she asked God to send her a sign. And a friend that she had not thought about for 20 years or whatever sent her, like, a bunch of lilies or something, and she took it as, like, a sign from God that God was real, and because she, like, asked for a bunch of lilies or something, and this was sent to her randomly by some friend she hadn't heard of or from in 20 years. And I remember being like, oh my God, God is real, blah, 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 blah. And then another story is she had her daughter who was taking a bath, and her daughter fell asleep while taking a bath. And she had, like, this weird feeling that, like, God was telling her to go check on her daughter, right? And her daughter had fallen asleep, and the water was, like, right near her mouth and nose. And, like, if she had dunk her head anymore, she would have suffocated.
Wow.
So I remember Mrs. Young telling us these stories, and I was like, oh my gosh, God is real, blah, blah, blah. But in reality, it's mother's intuition, number one. And number two, like, okay. What is it? It's a coincidence, and correlation is not causation.
Yeah.
Which,
or she manifested it.
or she manifested it. But I go back to correlation is not causation, which is a whole thing in the science community and research community, is that just because two things are correlated does not mean that something else is the cause, or what you think of is the cause. But yeah, so that was 6th grade.
Yeah, she also told us a lot of other stories though too, about, like, Our Lady of Fatima, who was also Mary. Like, Mary has so many different names. She talked about Medjugorje a lot.
Yes.
Medjugorje is in, Bosnia Herzegovina. I might be saying that completely wrong. It's a country, Europe. And there was, like, an apparition there or something involving Mary, and she, like, always talked about it. But I think that was the year, 6th grade was the year for me where I think, like, Catholicism kind of turned, like, mystic in a way.
Yeah.
Like, you're kind of like, ooh, like, this is kind of funky, you know? Like, there's people appearing places to people, and lilies are being manifested, and mother's intuition.
Yeah. So, I don't know.
I think we were developing, though, because I think, God, we were just, oh my gosh, that's a whole other story. Yeah, we were just developing in many different ways in 6th grade. I was going to say, this is another, like, great example of how strict our school was. I think a lot of schools might be like this, though, but I remember vividly getting my period in 6th grade for the first time. And it was on the day we had to run the mile at school.
No.
And I told the coaches, I was like, I am in so much pain. Or I don't actually think I was in pain then. It was just uncomfortable. And I'm like, I can't run today. And they're like, yes, you can. Like, you got this. And I'm like, no, I cannot. And, like, I was not going to tell my coach when I was in 6th grade that I started my period that day for the first time ever. So they basically said, like, there's no excuses. You have to run. So they made me run a mile with a giant maxi pad on. And I'm like, I don't know what's happening to my body. And I have to run a mile. And this isn't fun.
we should talk about periods. Like, not now.
In a different episode.
But in an episode. Yeah, we should have period talk.
We should.
Yeah.
That's sleepover. Yeah. We have.
Yes.
Yes. So, yeah, that was a very traumatic experience.
Yes. Okay. So, I mean, and then we grew up, right?
Yeah.
But what was Mass like for you growing up?
Mass for me, I think from the ages of, like, 1st grade to 5th grade, I was just like, I want to be involved, but I haven't developmentally quite figured out what that means.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of that manifested in staring at the stained glass windows, or counting how many light fixtures there were, or I don't know, I liked when the priest lit the incense. That was fun. I couldn't quite understand the homily, and the homily was like, it's basically the priest will read from the Bible, and then he'll give, like, a 15-minute talk on,
like a sermon almost.
Yeah.
And it's like very cryptic most of the time.
Yes. And as a child, you're not going to know what the hell is happening.
No. So like the ceiling was made of wood panels,
Yeah.
and I would try to calculate how many wood panels were in the ceiling. And I know my little sister created a little Spider-Man friend that jumped from like people's books, and I would braid the ribbon, the attached bookmark.
Oh my gosh, the little like crimson ribbon that was on the singing hymnals.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, that's another good point. So we went to church every Friday for like an hour and a half, probably each time. But one time, like it alternated. So one week we'd go to mass, and the following week we'd do singing practice to prepare for the next week's mass. So our principal made it very, very clear that singing is praying twice to try and get us to sing louder.
Yes.
And if you ask us if we have all of these songs memorized, yes, we do.
We'll randomly start bursting out in a random Catholic song.
Yep, and no one else knows what we're doing except us.
Yeah, it's great. It's fantastic.
Yeah. So we would alternate every week. So yeah, I would say probably until 6th grade, I was very checked out.
Oh, same. Because we would go Sundays.
Yeah.
My sister and I had a like pact that we would pretend to be asleep because mass started at 9. So we would pretend to be asleep at like 8:20, which is when we were like 8:30 is when we'd leave.
Yeah.
So then we wouldn't have to go to mass.
Yeah. I remember, whenever we did go, because my mom and I would go, my dad wouldn't go. Mm-hmm. We would find your family. We'd sit with you.
Yeah.
And then usually before the priest like reads from the Bible and does like the sermon, the homily, they'd invite all the kids under like 12 or something or 8 to go into a separate room and have like a kids version of that.
Yes.
We would get in trouble all the time at this because we're just talking the whole time.
So I was thinking about this. We would get in trouble for talking at the kids sermon area, and the consequence for that was being sent out to the adult sermon area, which like that's making mass a consequence.
That's a fantastic point.
So like I don't know. I feel like I internalized that as like mass is a consequence.
Yeah. For being bad, you have to go to church.
Yeah.
It's not something you do for fun. It's something you do because you were naughty.
Yeah, because you were bad.
That's a really good point.
Isn't that crazy?
Never thought about that.
Yeah, I hated mass.
Yeah.
I hated it.
Yeah.
I hated it so much.
Yeah. And I think if you're an adult, like you go for the community and the connection, but like you don't have that when you're a kid. Like you're just forced to go because your parents are dragging you there. So like from the get-go, it's like, why am I here?
Yes. And as a child, you have very little autonomy on what you do in your life. It's very adult driven, right? So like mass is one of those things where you just don't have a say at all. And you're forced to go and you have no control over your life. And I mean, as an adult, I feel like I really, really struggled when I started gaining control with my life. And I didn't know what to do because my life was controlled by adults forever.
Yeah, especially I would say more by our schools than by my own parents.
Yeah.
Especially once we got to high school and our lives were dictated by hours and hours and hours of homework. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we'll get into that shortly. But while we were from like 6th to 8th grade, so when did we do confirmation? That was high school, right?
Sophomore year of high school.
Sophomore year of high school. So 6th through 8th grade, I think was a lot more, like, I was more curious in Catholicism. We started learning more about Catholic history and the Crusades.
Okay, hear me out, though. So in 8th grade, we do this thing where we crown Mary.
Oh, yeah.
And they picked the, like, holiest girl to crown Mary. And guess who was chosen to crown Mother Mary?
Moi.
Sarah. Sarah was the holiest of the holy. Guess what I was chosen to do?
Hold the ladder.
I was chosen to hold the ladder.
So I wouldn't fall when I crowned the 10-foot statue of the Virgin Mary.
So there I am at Sarah's feet, freaking holding the ladder so she doesn't eat it.
Yep. So yeah, we had to crown the statue in May.
Yep. So Sarah was holy.
Yeah. So for me to come out with this episode as the holiest one in our year
in 8th grade.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And we started doing youth group in 8th grade too.
Yes. So more so Sarah because I had ballet, but I would go when I had the time.
Yeah. I was there. I think it was every Monday night. Mm-hmm. Well, I would go because there was a guy I had a crush on and he was uber Catholic, and he would go every week. So I was like, okay, I gotta go every week now too.
Naturally.
Naturally. But youth group was fun. I would say our youth group at Madeline wasn't as like culty as the Gathering.
Okay.
The Gathering, there were like four main youth groups in San Diego. It was Madeline, the Gathering. I don't remember the other two. Gathering was in La Jolla, and they were like hands up worshiping, like.
Yeah, but I always remember thinking that the Gathering was so cool.
The Gathering was really cool. Gathering
Which
is
was
where you want it to be.
so funny.
Yeah, I don't know
looking
why.
back at it, because they were like the holiest of the holy, right? And we
Yeah.
were just like, oh my god, the Gathering is so cool, and they
I
had
love
such
them.
cute boys.
They did have cute boys.
Yeah.
When was Steubenville? That had to be 8th grade too.
No, I think we were in high school.
We were in high school.
I think it was
we were in
freshman year of high
Freshman year of
school.
So I think we can probably cap off Madeline there, right?
Christmas plays.
Christmas plays.
Last one, and then we'll.
Yeah.
So every year we had Christmas plays at Madeline, starting from kindergarten all the way to
Yeah.
8th grade, where they would force us to get up on stage and sing Christmas songs.
Yep.
From 1st to 4th grade, they were in different languages, and then
Yeah.
they stopped doing that for some
Yeah.
reason.
We did German in 2nd grade.
We did German. I'm pretty sure we
Did
did
we do Hawaiian?
Hawaiian in 1st grade.
Yeah.
I don't remember the other languages. Spanish, I think, was one of them.
Yeah, and then 4th grade was like the rock and roll theme.
Okay.
And then 5th through 8th grade was like a more traditional, like nativity
Yes.
thing. But the hours we spent practicing Christmas plays, one of the biggest takeaways I've learned from those hours practicing: don't lock your knees on stage.
Oh, the amount of people I would before we started, I'd be like, I wonder how many people are going to faint today.
Yep.
And I would be like, I bet you it's going to be 2.
Yep. And there's people just falling down those risers because they locked their knees. They should have known. And this was in addition to mass.
Yes.
So like we would take hours out of our day per week to practice for Christmas plays and go to mass.
Yes.
People would pass out in mass a lot too.
So I genuinely wonder, right? What do public school people do with that time? Because we had like mass time, we had religion class, and we
Yeah.
had Christmas play practice and like communion practice, whatever,
We
right?
started practicing for Christmas plays in like October.
Yes.
Yeah.
So like a lot of our educational time was put towards religion. So what do public schools do with all that time?
I don't know.
Because we're all in class the same amount of time. We're just learning different things.
Yeah.
So like, what the heck?
What'd you guys do?
Yeah.
Did you guys like hang out?
And you just have more subjects? No,
Yeah.
but we had more subjects because we had religion on top of everything
true.
else.
Yeah, I don't know. What do public school people do?
Right?
I don't know.
I think about that and I'm like, what the heck?
We'll have to ask Michael.
Yeah. So, okay, that is kind of like our P through 8 story.
Yeah.
Now moving on, we're at an hour.
We're at an hour.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine.
Now moving on to high school. We went to a high school called OLP.
Our Lady of Peace, another variation of Mary.
Yep. It was also called Our Lesbian Prison and only old ladies permitted.
I thought it was only lesbians permitted.
Oh, only lesbians permitted. Oh,
Yeah.
Our old lady prison.
Old lady prison.
There you go.
Yeah.
Only lesbians
Yeah.
permitted in old lady
Yeah.
prison.
So all girls school.
All girls, Catholic school, uniforms. They didn't allow us to color our hair, but we could wear different headbands and stuff like
that
that.
was fun. We could paint our nails.
We could paint our
could
nails.
wear makeup.
We could wear makeup.
Although no one did. Everyone just kind of showed up like they rolled out of bed.
It's an all girl school. Who cares?
Yeah, who cares?
We could only wear black shoes. As a senior, you got privileges. You had to earn the right to wear white shoes.
Yep. I would say OLP was less like pushy with Catholicism and it was more strict on education.
I would pause this.
Okay.
I would say it was pushy with Catholicism the first year when we still had a nun. When the nun left, aka died on January 19th.
on your birthday.
As well as when Lauren Leck took over.
Yeah.
It became a lot more educational based with like a sprinkle of religion.
Do you remember though like what it was like our first year? Like,
Yes.
Like how was it more religious? 'Cause I don't remember.
It was a lot more strict and religion was embedded in our classes more.
Okay.
And we went to mass more.
Did we?
Yes.
Because at OLP we only went once a month.
It was once a quarter. No,
No, it
we
was
went
once
once
a
a month, and then it was once a quarter once Luck took over. No,
it was once a month,
Oh,
even
okay.
when Lek took over.
Okay, never mind. But it was definitely more strict. And then Lek took over and it became more educational based,
Yeah.
which is, I mean, it was educational based to begin with,
Yeah.
but a lot more woman empowerment.
Yes, it was very woman empowerment. We had like conferences and events and all these things.
Yeah, because Lex started the
Symposium?
Yes.
Yeah, the women's symposium.
that started sophomore year.
They gather like, I don't know, like 40-ish empowering women.
Yeah, she also updated the school a lot. We got a
Yeah.
cafeteria and
They had the French Gourmet, which was like a
Yes.
really fancy restaurant, come in and cater lunch every single day.
Yep. And
What the heck?
their pancakes, oh my God, for breakfast.
The chocolate chip cookie from the coffee cart.
Oh, so good. Yeah, because freshman year we would have vending machines.
Yeah. Oh,
And we had
villain.
Yes, we had little like those coffee vending machines, and then Let came in and got us like a beautiful cafeteria with gourmet food and
ridiculous.
super soft and fluffy and amazing pancakes that I like literally still dream about.
It was so good.
It really was. Yeah, and honestly, uniform standards started getting less strict.
Yeah, like we can wear a little bit shorter. We were able to wear shorter skirts and not get penalized for
Like
it.
not good because in freshman year, one of my teachers pulled out an index card and measured my skirt because it could only be 3 inches above the knee, and an index card is 3x5. So they measured the distance between my knee and the index card. And given
You're taller.
am tall and all of my skirts were hand-me-downs from my past like ballet people who had gone to OLP.
Was it Charisma?
Lori Hernandez. And
Lori went there?
yeah.
I didn't know that.
She went there until sophomore year, I think, and then
okay.
didn't anymore. Charisma and Olivia.
Okay.
But yeah, so all of my uniforms were hand-me-downs. They were a lot shorter than I was, and I was really tall. And my grandma had already taken out the hems as much as the hems could be taken out. Like I literally showed them that the skirt could go no further.
And uniforms were not cheap either.
And that's why mine were hand-me-downs because I couldn't afford.
Yeah, but it's just like once you completely take the hem out and they say get a new one, it's like that's like $80.
Yeah. Yeah. So I never did, and I kept getting infractions for it, but it was what it was. And it wasn't like I was trying to be a slut or anything.
Yeah.
Like my grandma added lace to the bottom so that the hem could be taken out to the max.
Wow.
And it was still too short.
Yeah, and 3 infractions equal to detention. By the way, Sarah would know that. Sarah was always late. Surprise, surprise.
And if you're late, you get an infraction.
Yep.
So that was kind of high school. We would go to mass once a month. It was a lot more girlhood and academic based.
Yeah, it was less. Well, we did pray every morning. We prayed before lunch. We always said like Saint Mother John Fontbonne, pray for us. Or well, what did we say? Saint Joseph, pray for us. I don't know. Our school was like founded by the Sisters of Saint Joseph of Carondelet from Le Puy, France. It's a mouthful. So it is a Carondelet school. So if you did go to a Carondelet school or you know someone who did, this is like a sister school to that. What did we always used to say? Mother John Fontbonne? No.
I don't know.
Okay, we used to pray to a lot of people.
Yeah.
Is the moral of the story.
And okay, so in high school we were going to youth group a lot. We went to like a Utah ski trip youth group thing.
I went like 4 years, I think.
Oh, I went to what else?
Oh, confirmation.
Yes. Okay, so sophomore year, you're 15, you go through another ceremony. Sacrament. Yes. There's multiple sacraments. So like baptism is a sacrament, first communion is a sacrament, confirmation is a sacrament. Matrimony.
Reconciliation.
If you become a priest, becoming a priest is a sacrament. And I think there's 7 of them.
There's like rite of the sick, or I can't remember the name of it. Holy Order.
Holy Order
is the priest. Yeah, there's like a few others though.
Yeah. So confirmation is, apart from matrimony, is like typically the second to last sacrament that
you're a sworn in Catholic at that point.
Yes. And that is like you as a teenager with a more developed brain choosing to be part of the Catholic faith instead of in baptism, you have no choice really.
Yeah.
Which also baptism isn't really being part of the Catholic faith. It's like
To
cleansing
take
your
away
sin.
original sin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So confirmation, you like get a mentor almost. You choose someone, and you also choose a saint, and then your name increases because that saint name becomes a part of your name. So I think Sarah chose Estelle.
I chose Estelle because my 3 aunts are Rosa, Fina, and Stella. So my name as it is Sarah Rose Anfuso. Rose is for Rosa. My Aunt Fina, her full name is Serafina. So I had those 2 aunts covered in my name. So I was like, oh, I'm missing Stella. So I found Saint Estelle. So I was like, oh, I'll have another name be Estelle. So Sarah, Rose, Estelle, Anfuso. So I have all my 3 aunts in my name.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
Mine was Rosa de Lima, which is Peru. And also Rosa, like Sarah's name was Rose. So like, why not? So my name is Isabella Cristina Rosa Sebastiani. Yeah. And that was, gosh, I guess that was OLP. Confirmation was like, you go to multiple classes.
And they were long.
Uh-huh.
So in addition, we forgot about the homework at OLP. OLP was harder than college.
Yes.
OLP, we had probably 3 to 4 hours of homework per night. So you'd come home from school at like 4 or 5 after your extracurriculars, start 3 to 4 hours of homework after eating dinner. So we were awake until the wee hours of the morning most nights.
Yes, and I would do ballet. So I got home from ballet between 8:45 and 9:30, and then I would start my homework.
Yeah.
Or I would like do my homework in the car from like school to ballet, and then ballet I would have maybe like half an hour before class started, so I would be like in the splits doing my homework.
It out.
Yeah. I found any time
to do it.
To do homework. It was crazy. Yeah. I think about that level of productivity and it makes me want to cry.
Because you were not allowed to be unproductive.
Yes.
Essentially. Or else you would drown.
Nuts. It's insane. Yeah. Like it's so unhealthy and no wonder why I had to deconstruct that. And it took 4 years of therapy to get here.
Yeah.
Because it's ridiculous.
Yeah. You've been better about it than I have. Because, I mean, you had much more to do on your plate with ballet being so long, but I was waking up every morning at 5 for band.
Yeah.
And then I'd go back to the all-boys school after school to do more band. So I wouldn't get home until 4. So I'd be going to bed at, like, midnight and then waking up at 5 for
so
4
gross.
years. But you're much better at, like... even just watching TV shows, like I don't let myself do that. I don't know how to. I have to keep working.
Yeah. Yeah. So
confirmation classes. We have to go to classes weekly for like I don't know, like a month or 2.
Yeah.
3
months.
3 months. I think 3 months. And then we were able to get confirmed. It was like a big celebration. You're in the Catholic Church. La da da da.
Yeah. And that's really, I mean, I didn't want to get confirmed, but everybody was getting confirmed.
So it was a cool thing to do. Like, yeah, same. I think I wanted to, actually. Like, I was, at this point in my life, I was very, very, very ingrained Catholic.
No, I actively told my parents I don't want to do this. And they were like, too bad.
Yeah.
So I was forced to be confirmed, which is funny because confirmation is technically supposed to be your choice to choose to be.
Question mark?
But at that point, I was very, like, religion is dumb. And I've kind of held that standpoint since then.
Yeah.
And then
it was the exact opposite of you at this point. I was like, this was the most Catholic I ever was.
Yeah. And then, gosh, we'll talk about Steubenville.
Oh, Steubenville. That was, I think, freshman year of high school. Steubenville is one of the biggest Catholic conferences in the States. So I like those Catholic conferences.
Yeah, she does.
It was at University of San Diego, which was where I ended up going to college. And you basically stay in a dorm for the weekend and you just... it's a Catholic conference. I don't know. We go to church every day. You hear different speakers who have like testimonies about their faith and you do benediction, and benediction got wild. People were like passing out, like seizing, like saying the Holy Spirit like took over their bodies, like foaming at the mouth. Like it was weird. It was very creepy.
What the heck? I went with Sarah 1 year because she went multiple years.
I went 1 year.
Okay. Then we went together.
We did?
The USD. USD Steubenville.
Yeah, but I think you went a different year than I did because I roomed with someone I didn't know. And I only hung out with Will and Daniel the whole time.
Oh, then I went I don't know. I don't know.
Huh.
It was weird. It was
Yeah.
weird.
It was weird. But yeah, that was Steubenville.
Yeah. And then we went to college. You went to
University of San Diego.
and I went to Regis College, which is I think it's sister of St. Joseph
Yeah,
or
it
something like
is.
that. And I went there for 2 years and then left. And I, at that point, was not religious. They didn't force us to go to mass or anything. You could wear
Yeah.
whatever you want. It was a very liberal school, in that sense. So
Yeah.
I had
USD. Oh, you go.
I had completely just pushed away any religious past, apart from the parts of religion that infiltrate my life still to this very day. The Catholic guilt is so real.
It's so real. Yeah.
But yeah, other than that, like I really, by confirmation age, knew that this was not for me.
Okay. Yeah, it took me 2 more years.
Yeah.
That was actually can I dive into that for a
Yeah,
minute?
go for
A
it.
moment. This was when we graduated. We're in college already, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when I graduated high school from OLP, I joined. Have I talked about this on the podcast at all before? I don't think so. I joined the all boys school hike of the Camino de Santiago in Spain.
Mm-hmm.
So this was in 2017, and this was like the first. No, this was the second time I did a trip with them, but this was my first Camino.
Yeah.
And for context, our school didn't really have international trips like this. It was always the boys' school who did stuff. They had like a more refined program. So since I was in band at the boys' school, I was there every single day. Like I had a ton of friends there. Like I knew the teachers. So there was one semester I was on their honor roll.
Go, Sarah.
They messed it up. And
They're like, why is Sarah in FUSO?
yeah, so I had so many people like messaging me being like, why are you on our honor roll?
That's so funny. Oh my gosh.
So yeah, I went with the all boys school to walk the Camino de Santiago. I was the only girl, and it was an absolute train wreck of a trip. The Camino itself was beautiful, and I don't want to go fully into the story because it's just going to take way too long. Essentially, I was mistreated by a priest.
Yeah.
Not in like a sexual way or anything. It was an emotional abuse manipulation case. He lied on his behalf to save his job. It's
so ugly.
It's so ugly. And I went after the trip. I went back to the school and I called them. I reported him to the principal and said, this is what happened. He's like, okay, let me go talk to the priest. So he talked to him, and the priest completely fabricated this entire story, painting me as the bad guy. And I'm like, bro, I'm an 18-year-old girl. You wanted to like abandon me in Europe. Like I had no money. I was a walking Target with a huge backpack on. Like,
yeah,
it was just not a good situation. And just like how rude they were to me was just insane. Like you're supposed to be a person of God, and to like actively tell someone that they're not welcome in your group, like basically to leave you alone and to not talk to you or anyone else in the group, or else they basically gave me an ultimatum and gave the boys an ultimatum in the group, where if anyone talked to me in the group, they were sending them home.
It's so messed up.
Yeah,
it is so messed up.
And that was including my boyfriend, my ex-boyfriend at the time. And they told him, if we see you talking to her, we're sending you home. And I was like, you are 18, you have your own money, you have your own insurance, they cannot send you home, you graduated already. And he still like refused to talk to me. Whole other story in its own. It was just a mess. So after that whole situation, I was like, this is pathetic. And I think on the Camino, they say the Camino is like a very like spiritual defining experience.
Mm-hmm.
And I really think having all that time to like meditate and think about the situation as it was happening,
Yeah.
I was like, you know what? I do believe in God. I still believe in God or a God.
Yeah.
I don't think I need a priest to be like that intermediate point. Like
Yes.
I can talk directly to God. I don't need a religion to do that. And there was just so many flawed things that I think I learned about growing up in Catholicism, and that was just shown at that Camino experience. And if anyone is listening to this and you are Catholic, I'm not saying all priests are bad, but just the fact, I think it's more of a power abuse case. I don't know. It was just a really tough experience.
Yeah.
Which I think I've pretty much processed a lot of it, but I think that experience pushed me away from the church, because I gave so much love and so much energy into this religion, and to just be pushed away by someone who was so high up in the church was just like, what?
It goes to show that like it really, it's all convoluted.
Yeah.
And it really, like, just because someone is a priest doesn't mean that they're like a man of God or that they're going to lead with the intentions of God, you know?
Yeah.
Like, and it's just, it's so ugly
I
to me. I
know.
keep saying it. I come back
It
to the
is.
word
It's icky.
ugly.
It's icky. I mean, because we're told our whole lives, like, you can trust the priest. The priest is the voice of God.
Yep.
Like, if you want to talk to God, you need to talk to the priest because the priest is going to be God's, like, proxy or, like, the spoken word of God. So you are, well, I mean, we even learned the Pope growing up was infallible, meaning
Yes.
anything he said is truth.
Yes. Which is so dumb. But yeah, speaking of the Pope, how did you feel hearing the death of Pope
Hearing
Francis?
the death of the Pope, I was shocked, but I think at the same time, I think I knew he was sick. Well, he was hospitalized for something, so I think I knew he wasn't well.
Yeah.
I thought he was better, and I guess he was not better. I don't know. I just kept thinking about the day in 7th grade when we saw the smoke coming out of the tower, and we are like, "Oh, Saint Francis is
Right.
Pope now." Like,
right.
it felt kind of. I think it. Like, talking about it now, it kind of feels like maybe I feel better about saying goodbye to religion. I don't like. I go back and forth on this so much because I think it was such a huge part of our life.
Mm-hmm.
Our lives that I just like I miss having that same community around spirituality.
Okay.
I miss the ritual of it.
Yeah.
I miss the incense and the stained glass windows, like the Catholic core, like Catholic aesthetic, Catholic core. Oh, chef's kiss. They really, well, they have so much freaking money.
Yeah,
like,
they know what they're doing.
they know what they're doing. I don't know. I think I miss that. But then, like, when I really take a step back from that and I'm like, no, this is a religion so rooted in control, in shaming, in
Specifically shaming women.
Shaming women and basically propping men up on a pedestal. And I mean, even like when we would say prayers and say, like, "Our Father who art in heaven," I was like, I just, like, I don't believe in this.
Yeah.
It's like, why is God a man? And I used to ask these questions in school and they would instantly get shut down.
Yeah.
And it's like, you don't ask questions. You don't question anything. And I'm like, I think God, I don't think God has a gender.
Yeah. I don't know. Hearing about the priest's death, like, I felt it in my chest and it felt like a loss. Like, I felt like part of my childhood had just vanished almost.
He was so happy and so smiley, you know, like he was a really beautiful face for the church.
Yes.
And every other pope before him kind of just seems really scary and controlling.
Yep. Yep. This is a really random segue. I got my blood drawn today to test my iron. Yeah. I'm at a 15. Which, those of you who don't know, 13 and above is technically good. It's like 13 to 300 or something like that is good.
I think my doctor told me, like, he wants to see me at 50, and I'm like, yeah, that's a good one,
so
buddy.
So I'm at a 15, so I am just barely above good, but I guess we're good.
You don't have to get an infusion.
I don't know. They haven't looked at.
Okay.
They might not be pleased with, because that's 3 months of taking iron every single day.
I think that's what I was, though, because I was at a 4, and then I took it every single day, and I went to a 12 over 3 months, too. So I think that's
normal.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe. I don't know. I'm not a doctor.
I feel like I should have more iron in my body, but I don't. Yeah. My B12 skyrocketed, but my iron did not.
Okay. Well, we have to have some more blood of Christ, I guess.
Jesus. I'll go drink some more wine.
But I don't know. I think one of the points of making this episode is we do like to keep it relatable here on the Melt Uncut. And if we're struggling with religion and spirituality at this point in our lives, then there's probably a good handful of people out there who also might be in a similar situation.
Yeah. How does Catholic guilt show up in your life?
Ooh, that's a good one. I feel like before I eat, I always want to say, like, a prayer of gratitude.
Okay.
It's not really like guilt, though. I just feel like I need to be saying something before I eat.
Mm-hmm.
Whether that's like thanking the Lord or thanking the hands that grew the food or, thanking the earth itself.
I would say I have troubles with modesty sometimes.
I do. Oh, yeah. That's a big one.
And, like, I'm getting over it the older I get, but I still Like I'll wear things that show my stomach sometimes, and I'm like,
Yeah. For me, it's my, like, if I wear something that's like too short around my boobs, like, I don't know. I'm just like, ugh, like this
flaunting the chest.
yeah, like this is too much. Like, I don't like to have too much of an open chest.
Yeah.
I'll wear a mini skirt.
Hell yeah.
I wore a dress that was like kind of short on one of my flights recently, and I was like practicing putting my luggage on the overhead to see like how high it would ride up. And Michael was there, and he's like, you gotta wear some spandex under that.
Oh, maybe that's a Catholic thing. I always
yeah.
wear shorts under my dresses.
Well, we had to,
Always.
right? Under our skirts.
Under our skirts. I do not wear a skirt or a dress or anything without shorts.
Really?
Yes.
I think I stopped doing that in high school. I just gave up.
I can't do it. I cannot do it.
Interesting.
Maybe that's a form of Catholic guilt.
It might be, honestly, like just the modesty. Like you don't want to flash anyone.
Yeah, so I wear shorts.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah.
I would say, like, I don't know if this is TMI or not, but like a lot of conversations around sex.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Like, I feel like, I mean, in your young 20s, if this is your, like, what you want to do, right? Sex exploration is like a huge thing. And I feel like the more my numbers rise, which sounds horrible, the like more guilt I have around it. But in reality, I'm just like looking for my person. But it just feels like having a one night stand feels weird. Not that I've had one anytime recently.
That's a fair point. I mean, I have only had sex in relationships I've been in. I've never casually dated. I've never had a one night stand. And I think a lot of that might be Catholic guilt. I mean, there were obviously gaps in between partners, but I just was like, no, there's no reason to do this.
Yeah, it's definitely a very weird feeling. And then, just in general, like being nude.
Oh, yeah.
I
cannot be nude.
If you know me, I need you to stop listening right now. If you are my family member, I'm begging you, stop listening right now. Mother, stop listening right now. Okay, are we gone? Like, you need to stop and come back at episode 15. Okay,
Love you.
Okay, love you so much. Mushrooms. So I really, really have a lot of problems being nude and like seeing myself nude and things like that. I've had mushrooms twice. I don't know if it was the first or second time. But I remember I went to go take a shower to like experience water while like, hallucinating.
That's fun.
And I was naked staring at myself in the mirror, and I've never felt more, how the Gen Zers say, like, mother. Like, I've never felt more confident. I've never felt more beautiful. I've never felt more just like grounded and like from the earth. And ever since then, I have no issues being naked anymore.
Wow.
So not
beautiful.
that like mushrooms changed my life by any means. Like you're tripping. That's what you're doing, right? Like that's it. But it was a really cool, just self-confidence experience.
Okay. Like a perspective change.
It really was. And I mean, this happened in 2023. I just moved up to Seattle. So yeah.
That's cool.
It was cool.
It's interesting hearing about your adventures because I have never done mushrooms. So I don't know how that's like, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if this is TMI, like if there's any creepers listening to this out there, but I just don't ever feel a need to be naked.
I love it now, especially that I live alone, given like, I don't know. I didn't live alone back then. I lived with 3 boys.
Yeah.
So now that I live alone, it's just nice to be free and to look at myself and love myself and love every aspect of myself. And
there's something we haven't been able to do for a long time.
Yes.
We taught our bodies need to be covered up.
Yes, exactly. So I'm like not feeling shame around my body anymore, which I mean, part of it is Catholicism, part of it's eating disorder, part of it's, but I'm really excited. I'm also really excited for lipo. Because I don't feel ashamed about my body anymore. And like, I do like my body as it is, but I'm just like picturing it leveling up and I'm so excited. Yeah. Anything else you wanted to add?
Gosh, I think like what does spirituality look like for you now? Because we talk about this a lot, and we do talk about like going back to church sometimes just to like sing sing and like nostalgia, you know, but
Yeah.
I don't know if I went to church, like I wouldn't believe anything they're saying.
Oh no, I would do it just for the song.
Yeah.
And I would do it for the nostalgia, like you said. I
Yeah.
wouldn't take communion or anything.
Oh, I would.
You would?
Yeah.
I think it's disrespectful. I'm going to be so for real.
What if you feel disrespected by the religion, therefore just cancels each other out?
I mean, fair enough.
We freaking earned it, girl.
I mean, that might be my ex-Catholicism guilt like showing up, in the sense that like I cannot take communion anymore. Then again, I follow rules like that. Like Sarah today, while driving into my complex, there's like one way to go. It's a one-way street. And she went the opposite way. And I was like, what are you doing? This isn't the way.
But her apartment's also like closer to the exit. So I wasn't like endangering us in any way.
No, yeah, like it makes sense. I just never do it because that's not the way you do it.
Yeah.
But I think that's like a great kind of
analogy to that.
Yes.
I don't know. I just think like my relationship with spirituality and God, like I see God as like a higher power energy that every single living thing in the universe is a part of.
Yeah.
So like you are God, I am God. Your plant over there, that's a part of God. Like we're all God, and we're just like Catholicism, I feel like is just making up these rules to control each other. So is God going to love me less if I take communion?
No.
No.
Ultimately, no.
No.
But Catholicism says you should.
Catholicism says I shouldn't, but I don't know.
Yeah. So spirituality for me really looks like just appreciating the energy around me and doing silly little manifestation things, like a little love spell, a little saying thanks to the fairies, a little going outside and touching a tree and saying thank you for the shade and life and home that you've provided for so many of the creatures on this earth.
Just like gratitude.
Yeah, just really appreciating the world around us and understanding that before we were here, it was here, and after we leave, it'll still be here.
Hopefully.
And we are a continuous cycle of energy. Like energy is neither created nor destroyed. Right?
That's a huge one for me. Yeah.
So like that energy that we take up by living is coming from something, and it's also going to be returned to something.
Amen. So I think everyone who's ever been a life on this planet before, sorry, soup is like crawling over me. I think their energy is still on the earth.
Yeah, they've made their mark.
They've made their mark, but also like biologically.
Yeah.
They're still here.
Yeah, I mean, so if you think about it from a scientific standpoint, say you bury someone, yes, we bury in caskets now, but say you bury without a casket, that person's body is going to decompose in the soil, providing that soil fertilization and nutrients, which then helps trees grow, which then provides shade and food for animals. And then the seeds get spread out. And, you know, like that energy is just continuously harboring and providing and growing.
I think it's made me a lot more, it's made me think a lot more peacefully about death though too. Because I think when we were uber Catholic, it was like when someone dies, they go to heaven, purgatory, or hell. And it's like these very distant places where you need to like talk to God first in order to talk to your loved one. Versus now it's like if I want to talk to my grandma who died in I think 2011, I could just say like, hey Nana, like hope you're having a good day today. Like, this is what I did. Yeah. Like, this is how my life's going. And it's like her energy is still here, you know? And there are like maybe a whole another episode is going to be for ghost hunting. But like just having these experiences where like departed loved ones will like send me messages and like dreams is insane.
Yeah.
It's crazy. So I think like that's another way too. Just the energy all around. But I think in college though too, I dove into like a little Wiccan era for a minute.
Yeah.
And I think it's really cool, to be honest. I don't know how much I resonate with it 100%, but I do I think that's caused me to like then explore just like general paganism and learn from that. So I read a lot of books on like Wicca, paganism, especially paganism in like ancient Italian cultures.
Cool.
To see like, I don't know, like maybe, I mean, because Catholicism is kind of witchy in itself. So I don't know. I mean, maybe some of my ancestors back in the 1600s in the foothills of Sicily did some pagan things,
Maybe,
which weren't categorized as paganism then, but like just little traditions and rituals. So
do you know what's really funny? Dyeing Easter eggs or dyeing eggs is a pagan tradition.
So many things of Catholicism are taken from paganism.
Yes.
Like Yule.
Yeah.
That whole celebration of like wintering. I mean, yes, Jesus is like quote unquote, I think Jesus was born in like April or something like that. He was not born in December.
No.
So that like revolves around the celebrations of Yule and like the solstice and like the rebirth of the sun after that day, the rebirth of God, you know?
Yeah.
Easter, dyeing Easter eggs. I don't know. Well, that's more pagan too, but like that is a tradition we do. But like, I mean, I think Easter for Catholicism is more about like the Lamb of God, you know, like lamb symbolism, new life, spring, babies. There was another one I wrote in here because I was thinking about that. Oh, how All Souls Day in Catholicism is like November 1st, November 2nd, around there.
Yeah.
That aligns as well with Samhain in paganism or Wiccan, which is the starting of like the wheel of the year.
Oh.
So it's like the cycle of death and rebirth.
Cool.
On All Souls Day, Samhain, kind of that tying in. So like a lot of Catholic tradition does tie in with paganism, but God forbid you say that in the Catholic Church because
you'll be stoned.
Yeah.
Okay, last question.
Yes.
Do you think okay. So back when you were Catholic, did you think you were going to heaven, purgatory, or hell?
Heaven.
I thought it was going to purgatory.
Really?
Never, ever, ever once thought I would make it to heaven. Ever. Isn't that wild?
Yeah. How
like,
come? Why did you think that?
Because I wasn't perfect and I did sin and I lied about not sinning in reconciliation and as like a 7-year-old. As a 7-year-old, I didn't think I'd go to heaven. I think I would go to purgatory. Deconstruct that.
Deconstruct it.
Well,
is that your last question?
That is my last question. Do you have anything else to say?
I don't think I have anything else to say. I think just like a final disclaimer, this is not a diss episode. This is just our experience. We're saying this stuff in hopes that we are relatable and that if you're going through this too, you're not alone.
We also would love to spark conversation. So please, if you have something to say, approach with curiosity, be kind. And we're going to approach with curiosity as well with what you have to ask or say or...
We don't like fighting. We don't like fighting. We like approaching with curiosity.
Yeah, we like discussion.
Yep. But
how do you feel?
Feels like a weight off my shoulders. I don't know. It's just like, I mean, I could probably do an entire other episode on just different things on this too, but it's just this is just the surface.
Yep. Well, we're gonna go cut my hair now.
We're gonna do that.
Is that okay?
That's fine.
Oh, good. Thank you.
Michael's getting new tires right now, so
okay. I need it to my mole. My hair's getting quote unquote long. It's not that long by any means, but I need it off.
Can I say one more thing?
Oh my gosh!
If you are of a different religion other than Christianity, and you want to share something with us, like please DM us or comment, because we have a major fascination in the different religions in the world. And like, I think a lot of, at least me, I don't want to speak for you, me trying to redefine or rediscover religion or spirituality in my life is looking at other religions and not by no means like appropriating and pulling from them, but just like seeing how other people see the world.
Yeah, seeking to understand.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So if you want to share something with us, we're all ears, or I'm all ears.
Yeah, it's like I was talking last episode. It's not with Azizam.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Like it could be seen as appropriation, but it's really at least in my eyes, not its appreciation.
Yeah.
So like really, at least in our perspectives, we're seeking to appreciate where you come from.
Oh, absolutely.
And your journey and your beliefs. We're not seeking to appropriate or attack or anything.
Yeah. No. Like even in high school when we were learning about Jainism.
Oh, so cool.
It's so cool. But like that's what sparked my like interest in just like diving into veganism and seeing like what that's all about. Because I mean, I grew up eating everything under the sun with my dad being an Italian chef.
Yes.
So it was just an interesting perspective that like actually kind of changed my life in a huge way. So yeah, I don't know. I think, do you have anything else to say?
I don't. Do you?
No, we're going to go cut some hair now.
Yay. All right. Well,
we'll stay tuned for our giveaway.
Yes.
Cafe Vita.
Yes. Well, that being said, manifest, be hot,
be sexy.
Be sexy. Hell yeah.
Modest is not always hottest.
I mean,
if you want it to be. If you want it to be.
Modest is when you feel your hottest, then guess what, chica? It's your hottest.
What did I say? Modest is not always hottest.
I don't know.
I don't remember. I don't know. Just do what feels right to you.
Yes.
If a man in a robe in a church is telling you something and it doesn't resonate with you,
let's think about it.
Let's think about it.
Yeah.
Let's think about it.
Maybe it doesn't resonate with you for a reason.
Yeah. Amen, sister.
Trust your feelings. Trust your guts.
I'm like nodding my head.
All right.
Alrighty. May everyone. Oh my god, I messed up again. This is 14. Melt.
May everyone love togetherness.
Mwah.
Bye.